Okay, good evening to all. So I was talking to my spirit guides and we were talking about the importance of thoughts, and I was talking to them about the importance of thoughts and their connection to your physical health in the incarnational experience. And I thought that would be a really interesting thing to talk about because I don't think that people understand the connection between their thoughts and how they're feeling, their longevity, those kinds of things in the incarnation. So, spirit guides, how important are your stream of thoughts, the thoughts that you have that you think are private, that aren't impacting anyone but you, on your own physical health? V-E-R-Y, very. I-M-P-O-R-T-A-N-T, very important. Okay. And why is that, spirit guides? Why are our thoughts so important when it comes to our own health? B-E-C-A-U-S-E, because. Y-O-U-U-A, R-E-R-C-R-E-A-T-I-N-G, creating. O-U-T-C-O-M-E, as outcomes. B-A-S-E-D, based. U-P-O, on, be upon. Y-O, you are your. S-T-R-E-A-M, stream. O-F, of. T-H-O-U-G-H-T-S. Okay, I can't repeat exactly what you just said, but I'll let those who are listening to this repeat the message, and I'll put some text to show exactly what you said. But what I think you're saying is that when we focus on a particular outcome that's maybe even negative, like maybe we are thinking, oh my God, I have a diagnosis that's going to debilitate me. I just went to the doctor and I've just been told X or whatever, and that is what my life is about. So in essence, if we ruminate and think those thoughts over and over, does that make that outcome actually come to fruition? And that is a huge yes. And why is that, spirit guides? Why is that? B-E-C-A-U-S-E, because. Y-O-U-U-A-R-E-R-C-R-E-A-T-O-R, creator. B-E-I-N-G-S, because you are creator beings, because we are source energy beings. And so when we focus on those outcomes over and over, we are actually creating that reality for ourselves. And that is a huge yes. Okay. So if we're given a diagnosis by a doctor, and I'm not saying the doctor necessarily has anything malevolent or anything, they're just relaying information based upon their own training. But when we focus on bad outcomes or negative outcomes from whatever we've been told, we're actually creating that reality for ourselves. And I guess I'm just repeating myself, but what can we do instead? What can we do instead if we are given information about our health to create a different, better outcome for ourselves? C-U-S, focus. O-N, on. H-E-A-L-T-H, health. Focus on health. So in other words, take those, what could be potentially focusing on a bad outcome, and say to yourself things like, I am healthy, I am resilient, I am strong, I am a creator being in this experience. I create my own outcomes. And will that manifest in our physical experience? And that is a huge yes. It's about to fly out of my hand. Okay. is there anything else you want to add on that particular topic of the importance of health and our stream of thought? Yes. UNDERSTAND, understand. THAT, that. ALL, all. OUTCOMES, outcomes. ARER, NOT, not. GUARANTEED, guaranteed. HOWEVER, however. YOUR, your. THOUGHTS, thoughts. ARERINCREDIBLY, incredibly. POWERFUL. Okay, and I think what you're saying is that there could be variables that we don't necessarily understand, even about a health condition we are experiencing, and that is a huge yes. So perhaps we have incarnated to, maybe even our higher oversoul has incarnated knowing that we will obtain some diagnosis that will take us out of the incarnation earlier than anticipated. Or maybe there are other reasons, exit points, maybe soul contracts, that could be variables in those outcomes that are part of the puzzle overall. Yes. Okay. However, aside from those perhaps already existing contracts or variables, we can still greatly influence the outcome of our own health. Okay, yes, okay, wonderful. Is there anything else you want to add about the importance of thoughts? Maybe I was thinking of physical health, but I guess I'm starting to think about mental health and our just maybe suffering from depression, anxiety, some of those mental health conditions, and how thoughts can impact that as well. Yes. THOUGHTS, thoughts. MANIFEST, manifest. INNYOUR, your. PHYSICAL, physical. REALITY. Okay, thoughts manifest in your physical reality. So even if we're not talking about health, mental health, physical health, the bottom line is what we think about all of the time, we create. So we think this is just a stream of thoughts we're having in our brain and that nobody knows or cares, but that is not the case. We are creating those outcomes with our stream of thoughts. Okay, and on that note, really quickly, because I was watching a video kind of related to this about Edgar Cayce, and he was talking about how our thoughts also impact the spirit world and the collective consciousness, which we've talked a little bit before, but I wanted to talk about the importance of our thoughts in relation to impacting others as well. So would you like to speak to that a little bit? Yes. YOUR, your. THOUGHTS, thoughts. IMPACT, impact. THE, the. COLLECTIVE, collective consciousness. Okay, so your thoughts impact the collective consciousness. So when you're in a stream of low vibration, fear, sort of anger, not forgiving, those lower frequency vibrations, you are actually bringing down the collective consciousness for everyone, and that's because we are one. So and that's not being judgmental. I guess I want people to understand that thoughts really are important, and trying to understand the impact of that, not only for your own incarnation, but the impact it has on others. I think is an important part of this experience. Yes. Okay. So Spirit Guides, do you have any tips for people who are maybe in patterns of negative thoughts? And I think we've talked about this before, but I think I know what you're going to say. MEDITATE, meditate. AND, and ask. TO2, RELEASE, release. THEM, them. Okay. Meditate and ask to release them. And our higher selves can help with that process, and maybe our own spirit guides, other divine light beings can help in releasing those lower vibrations so we can move into a more harmonious, loving state. Yes. Okay. Okay. Wonderful. So Spirit Guides, is there anything else you'd like to add before we wrap this up? Yes. WE, LOVE, love. YOUUAND, and WEARER, SO, so. PROUD, proud. OF of YOU. Yes. Yes, you got through to me, and you got through to me big time, as we talk about often. And it was not easy. You said that. You tried to get it through to me most of my entire incarnation, and I finally started to listen. And I hope that others can quiet their minds and connect with their own spirit guides, because it's a wonderful experience. So thank you, spirit guides, sending you so much love, and we will talk to you soon.